Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here. Saturday, the 22nd of August, 2026. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Bank. We've got Scott Wohlmering. I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Always enjoy seeing you, being with us. Your questions, comments, thoughts are welcome. And Scott, good morning to you there, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Another Saturday. We're going to talk about everything real estate related, mortgage related. Love your comments and feedback during the show. 612-294-6949. You can text us at that number, call into that number, or if you're obviously watching us on social media anywhere, you can just type your questions in and it'll come right to us and we'll cover them on air. A lot to talk about. Changing real estate market and is definitely different than it was last year, so we're going to cover that.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff going on. How about Mr. Mike? What's going on with Mr. Mike? We got to see what's going on there, Scott.
Overson, yeah. So he is. I think
the hardest working man in mortgage.
I think he is coaching his son's football this weekend, so I don't think he's going to be here. They actually just went to the national titles and was on ESPN.
Really?
Yeah, it was cool.
All right, guys, here we go. We're going live on air. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well. Good morning, and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being with us here the 22nd of August, 2026. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We are a live and local real estate show right here in the Twin Cities. Show is hosted by Mike Overson of Luminate Bank, Scott Wohlmering. I'm Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team and RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Hope your weekend is starting off well, everybody. We always welcome calls, texts, right to us in studio here at 612-294-6949, 612-294-6949. Scott, good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you've not caught the show, we are going to be here for the next hour talking anything real estate related, and then typically we get off on other subjects as well. But we'd love your comments, 612-294-6949, or check us out at mnrealestateshow.com. Have a great show today, a real treat. Adam Hartung with Midwest Money Management is on. He's our financial guru and has been with us for a long time. In fact, we should read his little thing right now, Ryan, so he can join us the whole hour.
Let's do that. Let's get Mr. Hartung on board with us again. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us live. So Mr. Adam Hartung is a certified financial planner, professional, accredited investment fiduciary. He's the president and founder of Midwest Money Management, located at 17316 Kenyon Avenue in Lakeville, Minnesota. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors, Inc., Midwest Money Management, and JW Cole Financial. And JW Cole Advisors are unaffiliated entities. Good morning, Adam Hartung.
Yeah, I think the whole hour's over now.
I was going to say, I want one of those before mine.
Yeah.
Scott Wohlmering from Bemidji. He sells houses.
It is. I try to do the speed reading, in radio, and Candace would know this too. Candace, they will. Was that okay?
Yeah, that's fabulous.
Actually, but they will speed it up though. Some commercials will we talking and then they'll do the speed up, right?
I actually hate it when they do that. It always makes people sound like a chipmunk.
Well, and you know what? We've talked about this on the show, and we're not even getting into real estate, but it really is something. So Jen, one of my ex-wives, she watches these reels. And then she speeds it up. So I'm like, why is your stuff so fast? And she's like, well, because I get through them quicker. And I'm like, that is just miserable to me. But and a lot of people, you were saying you do it.
Yeah, I think that's a common thing that, again, with podcasts, with anything at all, you can watch it at one time speed, 1.25, 1.5, 2 times. Adam, do you do that?
I honestly, very rarely. But
really?
Yeah, no, I don't. There's something about it that just seems wrong.
No, I want to listen to it or I don't. Pace.
I agree.
I don't want to have it double speeded up.
But I know a lot of people that do it.
Well, the idea is if someone maybe they're not hearing us live now, but maybe a month from now they're listening. I want to get through this hour show in 45 minutes. Ryan talks very slowly. Speed it up. We got to do 1.5 times.
That's right. That's right.
That's the thought with it anyways.
Let's talk a little real estate.
Yeah,
do
let's
that.
talk a little real estate. Our topic for today's show is Minnesota buyers have more power. What buyers and sellers should do now in this current market. Interest rates are at 6.67. That's the latest Freddie Mac 30-year average from Thursday, 6.67. Right now, there are just some big picture numbers, 22% more sellers than buyers. We talked about last week in that analysis, that Redfin analysis in Minneapolis. Nationally, 51% more sellers than buyers. So again, we've talked a lot about it, and we don't want to drone on about the same thing, but it is more inventory. And Scott, just the last thing from a number standpoint, 15% new listings this past week. Pending sales were down 0.6%. Inventories up 8%. And again, without trying to keep the show new and fresh, there is more inventory. Things are settling in, Scott.
Yeah, they are. And I got a lot of calls after the last show. Is this, are we bottoming out? This is just another Monday. Like my dad used to say, this is just a normal real estate market. It is. You're going to have pocket areas that are still really, really fast moving. You're going to have others that are a little bit more. There's more inventory than there is buyers, like we just talked about. But it is a. I'll tell you what. If you are a buyer now through the next year, we haven't had a market like this in 15 years. So it is a great time to be buying. Now, if you're selling, you have to look at what your combo is. Are you selling in the 300 range and buying in the 6? You're perfect. Are you selling in the 900 range and buying in the 1.2 million? You're probably going to take a little bit of a haircut. So there's still a very, very viable market out there, guys.
Yeah, and again, Adam, maybe this is something we can dive into. Again, you can join us, phone or text. Candace is here, always doing a wonderful job taking phone calls. We've got some texts that has come in. This is an interesting one, Adam. This one just says, I need to know how to gift my home or its end result sale to my 2 sons. So gift the home or sell it.
You can gift the property directly, or you can gift the proceeds of the sale. However, there is a limit of $19,000 that you can gift to somebody in a year without having to do a gift tax return. Now, most people think that means that you're going to actually owe taxes if you gift more than that. But for the average person, that's not the case. At least, not in the state of Minnesota, because first of all, there is no gift tax in the state of Minnesota. So if that's where you live, you're good. Nationally, however, there is theoretically gift and estate tax, but each person now has an exemption that's, I forget the number because it goes up every year, but it's over $15 million. And that is a number that you can give when you die, or you can give while you're still alive. So what happens is, if you give more than that $19,000 to anyone for any reason I shouldn't say any reason because there's few reasons you can, but if you give that money to somebody without an exemption, you then have to file a gift tax return, and it essentially takes some of that $15 million exemption away that you were going to have when you died. So if your total estate isn't going to be more than $15 million, you can gift it now, file the return. It costs you nothing.
Yeah, I thought it was very nice gifting your house to your two kids.
I know. What a
nice.
Wonderful father, mother. There's also a transfer on death deed as well, that you can record a deed naming your sons as beneficiaries. They get the home after death. And then also, Adam, I know there was a note about the revocable living trust, where you put the home into a trust and say how and when your sons receive that.
That is correct. And so I will say this, one of the benefits to putting a property, to doing the transfer upon death and having the property transfer when you die, is that whoever you give it to then gets what's called a step up in basis. So if there was going to be a tax liability for selling the property during your life, if you wait until you die and pass the property through that transfer upon death, the tax liability goes away if they sell the property.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949 is how you can reach us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Wherever you are, Minnesota, Western Wisconsin, whether you, that was a 218 text. I love to see our 218ers. That's you, Scott.
That's up north.
That's your country. Up north. Again, we appreciate you joining us. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for all the comments. That's interesting. Getting a property gifted. Do you see that a lot, Adam, with your work?
No, not a lot. I don't see. I mean, obviously, when people die, it's very common that they're then going to give the property to their kids. But not typical while you're alive. Although I will say this, probably one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is if they're planning to keep the house and they're going to stay in it until they die. So it sounds like this person was talking about if they sold it. So maybe he's not planning to keep the house. But let's say you're going to stay in there till you die. But you think, hey, I don't want my kids to have to deal with probate when I die, so I'm going to put them on title of the house right now. And that is, in most cases, a mistake. Because now what happens is your basis in the property transfers to them, you die, and now when they sell the house, they have a tax liability. Whereas if you did what you mentioned, Ryan, which is put that transfer upon death deed, still skip probate, so they still don't have to do anything but claim the house after you die, but now they don't have a tax liability.
One of my ex-wives, Marco says. One of my ex-wives. Isn't that nice, Marco? So, Scott, how many? There are two.
What's that?
There's two,
There
and
are two,
you're
both-
living
both-
with...
I live with my second ex-wife as friends.
That's so nice.
And my first ex-wife and I are great friends. So yes, I have two ex-wives.
I have been trying to
that many
encourage
times.
my friend, too. He's in his 50s. I said, you are still a young man. I think it'd be very nice for you to meet someone, to meet a wonderful gal.
Yes. Well, that's a whole nother subject. But, but what
Well, don't try to deflect.
No, what you were just talking about, Adam, though, is a misunderstanding that a lot of people have. Putting your kids in a will, saying they get my house,
Yeah.
does not save you from probate, and probate is a drag. So some kind of a trust that sets up the whatever deed that we were just talking about, so that your people don't have to go through probate, because it's not fun.
And sometimes you don't even need the trust though too, because again, if all you want is to transfer the asset, you can put the transfer upon death deed right on the house.
That's
and
right.
It's less expensive. And again,
That's right.
there are definitely times to have a trust. There are reasons why someone would have a
Yeah, that's
trust.
a good point.
But there are less expensive ways than a trust if you have a simple situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management. We're going back live here again. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope your weekend's going well. Welcome back to the second segment of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Appreciate you joining us here, talking with Adam Hartung today. I just wanted one minor update: is rates are 6.65, so they were actually down just a little bit from last week. Not a huge difference at all. But again, the big story that we've been talking about is just inventory numbers.
Let me go back to the rate for a
Sure.
second. What do you think the rate was in 2003, 2004, 2005, and 2026? The average rate for the year.
2003, 4, 5.
And now it's 6.
I don't know. Tell us.
About 6.7.
Oh,
So,
okay.
we've been there for about 4 years. It seems like rates are high now.
2023.
What did I say?
2003.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
2023, 24, 2025, and 2026. It's been around that 6.6 to 6.7%. So we've seen this game for a while here. Doesn't mean it's not painful because of the cost of real estate, but nonetheless, it's been kind of where we're at.
Yeah, it is. And it's an interesting time. If you've been a longtime agent, you know this is just another market, Scott, I want to, as we think about that, again, we're looking at, Twin Cities wide, median sales price is 408,000. That's up 3.3%. Statewide, Adam, it's 375 for the median sales price. That's up 2.7%. Statewide, the inventory is up 9%
And
year over year.
Year over year. That's what I wanted to know. So those
Yep.
numbers, when you say they're up, you're talking
Yeah.
about compared to a year ago.
Yeah, so I guess you could say it is a healthy story, Scott. There are more homes, there's more choices, there's actually more transactions, and there's more negotiating too.
That's right. That's what people don't misunderstand. We are up in units and will end the year with more homes sold in the Twin Cities. The difference is a year ago, like for example, in Lakeville right now, $500,000 to $600,000, there's 93 homes. Last year, there would have been about 9 in that price range. So again, 93 homes, and there's, I think, 9 pendings. Well, last year, there might have only been 2 pendings or 3 pendings. So more homes are selling. It's just that you have 10 homes for sale in your neighborhood, not 1. So the house goes on, there's a sold sign on it. Now 9 go up and 3 are sold, but 6 are sitting there not sold. That's the market that we're in.
Yeah, again, 612-294-6949. When we're looking at a question just said, what can be negotiated today that maybe couldn't be 3 years ago? So you can negotiate price.
Closing costs in the price, not having to close in 30 days, not having to give up your earnest money no matter what, not having to guarantee the appraisal amount. I mean, we were writing offers like that. Well, I was telling
Inspections.
Ryan,
Inspections.
I just told Ryan, I just wrote an offer on a townhome, and it's the first offer in 5 years that I've written where it's not been full price or over. I mean, when I was writing it, I was like, oh my God, this is because I ran the numbers on it. And I said, well, it was on the market for a week. We went in $15,000 low. That would have been unheard of a year ago. You would have had 8 offers on it. You would have gone in and hopefully you got the highest bid for your client, so they got a house. But it's fun when they can actually get it at value or even a little bit maybe below, because people are looking to, that's what real estate should be. It shouldn't be run out, see one house, run back, write an offer, there's 30 offers on it.
This is an interesting number to share with listeners here, Adam. Luxury property throughout Minnesota is actually moving. Pending sales of Minnesota homes over $1 million increased year over year, 18%.
Yep.
Wow.
18% compared to pending sales under 400,000. Again, we said they only increased 3.7. Here's the interesting thing, Scott. Condo sales, surprising, increased 10% in that luxury market.
Yeah, because there's a zillion of them on the market.
Yeah. So isn't that interesting though, that again, you think about, why is that?
And it's 100% true from a real perspective. I'm putting on $1.4 million listing and $1.7 million listing. And of course, when I talked to him about the market, I said the market's really, really gotten hit with values and everything else with inventory, but you haven't yet. For whatever reason, that over $1 million range has not gotten, and we haven't seen 30 homes on the market in the $1 million range. You're still, 5, 6, depending on where you're at. And so yeah, there are still pockets that are doing well. And for whatever reason, it is. Now, if I'm correct, and I think we're going to have a resetting of value through next year, that price range will get hit, because if a $600,000 home is only worth $550,000 next year, then obviously that changes the amount of money you have to buy into the next, et cetera, et cetera.
So I was going to ask, until Ryan said that prices were up over the last year, whether or not you'd seen prices come down at all yet.
I hate that. I know that they're up. They're not. I mean, they're up in 5 or 6 areas and upper price ranges. So yes, if a house was $1 million last year and now you sell it for $1.3 million, spread out all over the other houses. But if you're selling in the southern suburbs and your home was worth $600 last year, it's worth $525 to $550 right now. Wow. So that has gone down. But what Ryan said, the upper brackets are doing well. So you average that out and it's going to show everything going up.
I think it's just, again, real estate's so specific. It's neighborhood, price range, what you're competing against, other types of homes that you're competing against. And so, kind of myth, Adam, we like doing myth versus fact. Myth says more inventory means Minnesota home prices are falling. And fact says inventory is at a 7-year high, but the median sales price still increased 2.7 statewide and 3.3% in the Twin Cities. So more inventory is currently producing slower appreciation, better buyer negotiating conditions.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. Again, my argument is if you took out the $1 million+ sales and then did that, I think you would find it flat at best.
Yeah, Adam Hartung, Midwest Management. We always love you being here with us. What do you have for us today, bud?
Yeah, well, this was a stat that I literally just came across yesterday, and I thought I would bring it to the show, that housing starts, now this is a national stat, so I'm going to be interested to see what you think in the local market here. Nationally, housing starts declined by 12.4% in July. And they're down 13.5% versus a year ago. So there are less new houses being built right now.
Yeah, and for any builder that's out there, it'd be great to just either comment on the social feed or give us a call or text us at 612-294-6949. Are you pulling back a little bit? Are you seeing, Lakeville with, 192 homes on the market if you include new construction, and you're saying, hey guys, this might get a little bit tighter, and we're using numbers based on, last year, and that's not reality. So if you're a builder, see if that, because that makes total sense to me. I think if you're carrying 10 specs that are not sold, it's really hard to put another one in the ground. And so I do think builders are probably hitting the pause button a little bit.
612-294-6949 is how you can join us here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We appreciate you joining us. And again, questions, you can always interrupt us with texts or phone calls here as well. Scott?
Yeah, this was a question. Scott, in your time in real estate, what are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen people make through the years? What are the biggest mistakes that you've seen people take through the years? Anything come to mind, Ryan?
Biggest mistakes in reference to what? As an agent?
Through your entire career, what are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen people make through the years? Well, you're thinking, the one that comes to my mind right away, and I know you're going to say, well, you're a real estate agent, you would say that, but I'll tell you what, the biggest financial mistakes I've seen through the last 30 years are people that run on their own. And I'll give you an example. For example, it was actually a couple priests that were clients of mine in Lakeville, and they had bought a home. It was on the market for $500,000, and they had bought it for $4 million. So they got $100,000 off. They weren't represented by an agent. The seller wasn't represented. So man, what a deal we got. We got $100,000 off on this home. So when they called me to sell it, 2-3 years later, I'm like, my gosh, why are you guys so upside down? So I looked back when they sold it, and the house was only worth $3.25 when they bought it, not $400. But in their mind, because that's kind of how we had bought my jeans on sale, they figured, oh my God, I got $100,000 off. It was great. And I've seen those kind of scenarios through the years when somebody is not represented by an agent, because their thought is, I'm going to save in commission, but more than not, they get hit in the teeth.
Yeah, again, Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management. We also had a question, Adam, just regarding non-owner occupied or investment property, how much higher those rates are. Usually they're anywhere from a half point to a point more for what they call a non-owner occupied property. So you're going to pay more, Adam, in that case, obviously. We got before the break. What do you got for us, bud? A little taste before we get to our first halfway point.
Yeah. So one of the questions that more and more have people asking me is whether or not now is still a good time to invest in the stock market, because the market has done very well over the last couple of years, a lot better than most people expected it to do, quite frankly, myself included. And so I thought I would just kind of comment on my view on this, since it's something a lot of people ask about.
Yeah, that and that's a good tease before the break, Adam. Before we do break, guys, I just wanted to give a nice shout out and welcome to the newest member of the Minnesota Real Estate team. Very excited, Scott. Miss Katie Milbrandt joined our team here. It's now been a couple weeks. She is a fantastic agent, but what she's doing specifically is leading our team's Zillow program. So every month we get a lot of customers that will go to Zillow and ask to see houses and ask to go look at properties. And so Katie is leading the charge on that. She's a couple weeks in and just doing an awesome job. Just a wonderful human, very kind, caring mother of two down in Lonsdale. And Scott, just super excited to have Katie on board.
Yep, I've read all the comments. She's incredible. You hired a pro. This one's awesome. So I have not met Katie yet. I'm looking forward to it, but everybody has raved about her experience in real estate and what a mind she is. So it's a good addition.
Yeah, super excited. Again, this is the halfway point of the Minnesota Real Estate Show, 612-294-6949. You can join us by phone or text after the break as well. We're going to be talking with Adam Hartung a little bit more regarding the stock market as well. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us. We had somebody comment. They said during the break, you guys had hot mics. So hopefully we didn't say anything too, well, it was live on air. Nothing crazy, hopefully. But thanks for the comment. Randy had commented too. Yeah, we got to watch you, Scott.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I give the producers here a headache. Scott, make sure you're not talking, because there's hot mics.
We did have that the one time.
The last station we were on for a short period of time, whatever. The guy did not particularly like me, I don't think, and was always like, "Shh, you can't say that." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Well, because there's hot mics." I'm like, You have the mics on right now in the studio? Of course you don't.
He was just trying to temper you a little bit for when Scott came on air, that there would not be something.
Not be a carryover, yes. Not be a carryover.
Yeah, Adam. Adam, how many people are on your team now at Midwest Money Management?
Well, depends on if you want to. We're going to have 2 part-time people
Yeah.
that are really both pretty part-time. So we have 7 full-time people and then a couple of part-time people. So
Yeah, Katie just commented, we love having you on board, Katie. We had to give a nice shout out. That's a tough job, I'm telling you. 5, 6, 7 days a week dealing with questions and different
what'd
things.
you go through, like 8 people before you hired Katie?
There was like 10 people.
I'm just kidding.
No, I did interview quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you could tell she had a lot of experience doing it before. But just like you, Adam, with your great folks, you've got a lot of wonderful people part of Midwest Money Management.
Yeah. And actually, I realized as I said it, I misspoke. It is actually 6 full-time people and 2 part-time people. And in my head, sometimes I think that it's kind of equivalent to 7.
We won't hold you to it.
We won't hold
I
you.
applied for that job.
Yeah, you did,
But
Scott.
Brian thought I was too empathetic, that I wouldn't be able to be that I wouldn't be able to be hard enough on the agents.
You're
and-
just too
Yeah,
compassionate.
yes, way too.
Very thoughtful. I mean, just really caring. Poor Scott. Oh man. Yeah, it is. We did have it was interesting. We had a really good training, though, speaking of empathetic. And this past week, David Meyer and Heidi stopped out to do a team training.
Great job.
I think we need
watch
less
that video.
Ryan, more of this. We put up a nice post in our Facebook group that got the most likes out of. I'm like, it was really good.
Yeah, well, those two are great. I was sad. I actually went to the meeting and then I had a pet problem that I had no cover, so I had to leave, and really was sad for missing that, because they're both having incredible years. Heidi's having a record year for her, which is so cool. Such a great person. So nice to see.
Yeah. Adam, would you like to talk about any politics?
Let's not do that.
That's a good way to lose who's ever watching.
We'll lose a bunch of.
Here we go. We're going back live. Welcome back to the second half of the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Before we dive in with Adam Hartung, it is the Minute of Hope at the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. This week had the good fortune yesterday of meeting a wonderful gal. Her name is Tabitha. Tabitha has had lots of very bad things happening. She's got a painful knee condition, requiring surgery, additional health complications that has been preventing her from being able to work, fell behind on her rent. Now, she's also in a 3rd floor apartment. So, of course, it's been difficult, and she's needed to move to a 1st floor apartment. We were grateful, thanks to you all and your generosity, to be able to help her with her rent, helping to move her into a safer home and to be able to focus on her healing. Each week, we do our best to help 5 to 6 local families, individuals who are struggling, hurting, going through unexpected hardships. And we're grateful for your support. Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management, you and your company have been a huge supporter of the O'Neill Foundation of Hope. It says a lot about you, and just super grateful for all you've done for us, brother.
Yeah, well, thanks, Ryan. And honestly, again, I am grateful that you kind of lead the charge on this, because there are so many people out there that need help, and it's hard. It's a lot of effort to find those people, and actually, it's not just about the money. It's about taking the time to find them. I actually have a small charitable foundation that I started when my father passed away, and I can tell you that the energy that goes into just finding those people to try and help and finding the right people is a lot of work.
Well, I was saying on last week's show, Adam, and you could probably attest to this. It's hard to be a friend with Ryan.
Oh, come on!
Because when I call,
I'm going to transition.
When I call Ryan, he's like, "Hey, Scott, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I just got done playing golf. I'm going to go to a happy hour. What are you doing?" Well, I just helped the Johnsons. And you're like,
No, I don't.
Oh my gosh.
No. Hey, by the way, we always like to, we do think, the important part of the foundation, guys, is humanizing it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the reason we also share a photo at least once a week to just humanize it, to meet people wherever they are. In this case, it was down. We went to a restaurant down. It was in Uptown. And anyway, I had somebody comment on the photo. They said, you're looking older, right? I had a friend, and it's a good buddy. And I said, you know what? You're right. I said,
years ago, I was meeting a client that I had not seen for 10 years. And I met him at a Caribou. So I'm sitting there and he's walking around looking, and I'm in the corner waving, and he comes over. He's like, dude, you got to change your photo online. I said, okay. So I did. And now it's probably been 10 years. I probably have to change it again.
Yeah. Adam, you're thinking.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think the photo that you've got on the Minnesota Real Estate Show of me probably needs to be updated. So
yeah, it is.
We should probably do that.
Yeah, it is. But thank you all for your support. Thank you for helping us spread the word. Most importantly, that is what you can do. We are getting referrals from Salvation Army, various churches, the United Way, other organizations are referring to us as well. So we appreciate your support. Adam, it is the stock market. People have been talking about it. It's been up like gangbusters in a year, hasn't it? So is it going to keep going up? I mean, what's going on?
Well, again, the first thing I'll say, you asked me where's the stock market going to be in 6 months from now. The answer is I don't know. I mean, that's just the pure and simple truth of it.
Well, luckily, I do. I'll tell you.
Is that the end of the segment?
Here's what I can say. So the S&P 500 index, so I'll be a little more specific because, the market as a whole is up, and that's true for almost kind of all segments. But the S&P 500 index, which is the 500 largest stocks in the U.S. stock market, is up about 12% right now year to date. Now, if we were at the end of the year, 12% would still be a really good year. But of course, we're in August and it's up 12% just through August. So, does that mean that the market is set for a fall? Well, not necessarily. What drives stocks, what drives the value of stocks is earnings of corporations. And what I can tell you is that earnings are continuing to grow. Earnings are strong, and they are expected to continue to get stronger. So I can make the argument that stocks can continue to rise even from where they're at now, as long as earnings continue to rise with companies.
Is that AI? Is a lot of that AI, Adam?
At least some of it is, yes. I mean, there have been signs of increased worker productivity, and increased productivity brings costs down and allows, net profits to go up. So,
I've noticed that with Scott. I've noticed increased productivity.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Income is just through the roof.
Yes, less wasted time daily scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different things. It's really that productivity. Thank you. I mean, Scott's so nice.
Yes, well, I'm going to teach the next class on empathy and productivity.
But it is interesting, Adam, because that's probably a question you get a lot: is what's going to happen? I mean,
it is, and so what I will say is I don't know what the stock market's going to do. What I can say is that when people ask me personally, is now still a good time to invest? I am thankful for the fact that our investment firm is a tactical money manager. And what I mean by that is that we do not just buy assets and hold on to them and hope for things to go well. We are very, very active in the approach that we take. And so whether the stock market's going to be up again in 6 months from now or whether it's going to be down, I think it still makes sense to invest your money, especially if you're working with a firm like ours that's really going to be watching it for you. And if the market's going to fall, we're going to take action to try to reduce those losses, hold cash on the sideline, and then look for a better entry point when prices are down. So,
hey, Scott and Adam, question says, should you look for a real estate agent that is based in your general area?
Great question. I'm surprised we don't get that. Back in the day, that was the thing. I'm selling my house in Brooklyn Center, and Scott, you live in Lakeville, and of course you don't know the Brooklyn Center market. You can't effectively sell my house. Those days are gone. We are all generalists for the most part at this point, and the reason for that is the internet. When the internet came along and everybody had access to everything going on, including the consumer, we now can pull market numbers, neighborhood numbers. You can become an expert on a neighborhood that you couldn't, 20 years ago because you didn't know the neighborhood. Now you can know it all at your fingertips. And so it is not important. It's important to hire an agent that you believe is going to get you the most money and best terms, et cetera. That's been consistent. But whether they live in Minnetonka and you live in Woodbury is irrelevant. What are your thoughts? Right?
Yeah, marketing is important. You need someone, obviously, from a marketing perspective. You need someone that understands the purchase agreement process, the negotiation, the contingencies. Agents,
But Ryan, if you live in Minnetonka and my house is in Woodbury, how are you going to go over and show it?
yeah, and again, those showings primarily happen through other agents and through the marketing that's happened when our friends at Coldwell Banker, Edina Realty, all the other companies have pre-approved buyers. They're going to show it.
One of the number one things when I take an expired listing over.
Yeah.
Through the years, I know agents listening that have heard this as well. So it was on the market for 6 months. It didn't sell. I take it over. One of the first things the seller says is, Scott, you won't believe this, but that agent had my house for 6 months.
Never showed it.
Never showed it.
Yeah.
Because that's how consumers think. It's not a thing, guys. We market to everybody out there. Yes, every once in a while we'll have somebody that responds. So any buyer, any agent that tells you, hey, I've got 10 buyers in my pocket at $1 million. No, they don't. They do not have that. They might have 10 searches saved on one of their websites, but they're not working with 10 buyers.
Yeah, I had a nice text again that just said, Adam, that said, I heard the response. This was regarding gifting my home. Is there a way I can receive a transcript? I'm tired of hearing and wavering vision quality. I do have a TOD. Yeah, we can absolutely help you, and we can be sure to get you that information to make a good decision.
And if you want to talk to me directly, I'm happy to take your call as well. So you can call our office at 651-204-3000. Again, that's 651-204-3000. Ask to talk to me, or you can talk to somebody else on the team. They can give you the same information. So,
Adam, not to derail your segment, but you, again, we always have real estate investors listening. You with your company too. I mean, you've been a big influence on my life, Scott, just investing in real estate as well.
Well, I'm a big believer in we were just talking about stocks, but we have very diversified investment portfolios. And so, yeah, real estate, both at the individual level and at the commercial level, it's something that I've believed in over the years.
Well, and I'll tell you, we talk about who is this a good market for going into this next year. I've told all my kids, make sure you have cash available moving into the next 2 years, because with a resetting of values, resetting of pricing becomes good investment potential. Buying a property that cash flows. That's not 400, maybe it's 325 in a year and a half. So it's a very good, there's always really good times. You can think of the worst time, Ryan, 2008. Nobody could do anything in real estate. That was just awful. But who was it good for?
Investors.
Anybody that had money.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw more of a transfer of wealth between 2005 to 2010 than I think we'll ever see again.
So, hey, before the break, community spotlight, Adam. Guess what community I want to feature? Falcon Heights.
Aha.
This is timely because Minnesota's biggest annual get-together is about to begin. It's the home of the State Fair, which, by the way, opens August 27th. Coming up, runs through Labor Day. Falcon Heights.
Are we going to be there next weekend?
Yes.
So
would you
be there next Saturday?
Would you want to live within walking distance of the State Fair, guys? Walk to the fair.
No.
No?
I would not.
But I'd like to own about 10 investment properties on the strip in front of the State Fair.
Candace, wouldn't that be nice?
Well, one of my best friends does.
Yes.
And it is cool for the fair, but you know what's cooler is when Back to the 50s happens. We just sit on her front lawn and drink beer and watch all the cool cars.
That Candace I could be into.
Yes. Hey, we're already at the final break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. Hope your weekend's going well. Again, if you are looking to buy, sell, invest, if you're looking to rent a property, you need help. We help people all areas, price ranges. Don't hesitate to reach out. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Adam, it's interesting when you think about that, though. Can the market continue to go up? What do you think about AI? I mean, what are your thoughts with that? I know it's random.
I know
it's
so
kind of
many
random.
thoughts on AI. I mean, and again, short term, long term, but I actually think AI has the potential to be what solves the United States debt problem.
Exactly.
Which is what I have been worried about. I have spent every presentation that I have done with our clients since I started doing it in 2008. My number one concern, big picture, long term, has been the debt of the United States, and how do we fix that?
So tell me more. How do you think that happens?
Well, so again,
Productivity.
it's about productivity. So
Yeah,
the
you've
stock
been
market, the stock market as a whole, yeah, you
I'm
and
a
I are
prime
talking.
example.
Yeah.
The stock market as a whole has gone up by about 6% above the rate of inflation for the last 150 years.
Hmm.
And you say, how can anything go up by 6% more than the rate of inflation
Right.
for all that time? The answer is increased productivity. The reason that companies continue to go up in value is because they find ways to do things better, cheaper, faster.
Yeah.
And capitalism does that. Capitalism finds ways to do things better, cheaper, faster. And when you do that, you add value. And AI has the potential to be the biggest increase in productivity that the world has ever seen. The last one was the internet. And if you look at like productivity over the years, you want to know why there was this big boost in the standards of living that happened in the 90s. And it's because companies figured out how to use the internet effectively. And that there was about a 14-year period of time where productivity was significantly higher than the rest of the time. Same thing happened in the Industrial Revolution when we learned how to create the assembly line.
So
Like these are things that drive.
how do you get around? Then you'll see the news story where people are protesting the building of the data center in the neighborhood or on the hill or whatever. And so then there's all that I'm seeing now too.
And there are plenty of challenges, which is why, depending on what you want to talk about with AI, we all the way down, we can go to the road of, is AI going to turn against human beings someday and it becomes, Terminator 2, so like I have all kinds of concerns about AI, but that's the first thing.
Actually, Terminator 1 and 2.
And 3, yeah.
Here we go. We're going back live on air. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Big shout out again, Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management. Wanted to touch on here, guys. Angel Ball has a listing in Burnsville, 14809 White Oak Drive for $684. It is a 4-bed, 4-bath, 3-car garage home. It's in the 196 school district, 4 bedrooms on the same level, 2 bathrooms. It's got a fully fenced in yard, a bonus room. It's a great location, close to parks, shopping, entertainment. Scott, that's in Burnsville, 14809 White Oak Drive for $684, $499. And then Mike Catterlick, Scott, the Savage. This one's in Savage, 7817 West 145th Street in Savage for $279,900. This is a 3-bed, 3-bath, side-by-side townhome. It's got a bright and open floor plan, private owner's suite, walk-in closet, 2-car garage. That is 7817 West 145th Street in Savage. And then Adam Benedict has one too, Scott. This one is 7647 Afton Court in Woodbury, $260 for this 3-bed, 2-bath townhome. It is in the Steeple View Place in Woodbury. And lots of updates. It was recently a price improvement from $270 down to $260, 7647 Afton. One last one, Scott. Kathy Zimke's got one in Morristown, 23 Main Street, $180 for this home, 180,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, 3-car garage, 220 amp service, leads to 0.25 acres, fully fenced in backyard. It's dating back to 1880. Wow, this home is ready for the next owner. Small town charm, welcoming community in Morristown, 180, Scott, 23 Main Street.
Very, very good listings. Whenever I hear Adam Benedict, who's a great agent back in the day, was the sexiest agent, voted by Star and Tribune in the Twin Cities. He took my title, which was the year before, and he took it over. And but yeah, that was back. I mean, it was probably 10, 15 years
It was
ago.
some crazy contest. I think it was actually, was it Star Tribune or I forget who it was.
I think it was Star
But they
Tribune.
did this big poll, and I remember
And Adam won it.
I remember Adam. It was kind of funny because Adam, they then interviewed them, and I think the gal that won, deservedly, for all of our lovely gals, lovely women, she got the airtime. And then Adam got just like a side little note. Like I said, dude, just go with it.
I remember back in these days when I would hear people on your team talking about Adam, and as soon as I would hear them talk about how good looking he was, I knew they weren't talking about
Yes,
me
right.
anymore. That's right.
You're not talking about Scott. You're talking about Adam.
Oh, hey,
And an incredibly good agent, by the way.
yeah, very
What a
good.
great guy.
Very good agent. Hey, before we wrap up here with Adam Hartung, I did just want to mention one other text message that had come in here that was just asking about, again, you guys talked about AI regarding the stock market. Best way to connect with Adam Hartung. Again, Adam, best way for people to connect with you?
Yeah, you can certainly find me on the mnrealestateshow.com or midwestmoneymanagement.com. Or again, you can call our office, 651-204-3000, 651-204-3000. And again, you can ask to talk to me personally if you'd like, or anyone on the team can help as well.
Yeah, Adam.
But if you're going to talk to Adam personally, don't call too early in the morning.
I'll call you back.
No, again, just so listeners know, I think sometimes the one thing, wherever you are in life, wherever you are with a money situation, Adam's approach with this has been so kind and refreshing, welcoming everybody, whether you have $1 in your checking account. This guy has taken time with people over the last 30 years with really nothing in it for him other than trying to help other people. And I think, Adam, that is the reason your firm has grown tremendously. You obviously have got a lot of really wealthy clients, but you've never forgot that it doesn't matter how much people have, and people need help with it. It's like real estate. Scott's point was people go it alone. Money, everybody goes alone. Shouldn't go it alone.
No, yeah, and I appreciate you saying that, Ryan. And it really is. It does mean a lot to me, and it is something that is intentional. And it's not just me, it is every single person on our team. And we have discussions all the time about, should we change this policy or make this policy more restrictive or have an account minimum? And every time, everybody on my team comes back to, it's not who we are. Like, if we can help people, we want to help people, and we'll find a way to do it if we can.
Yeah, and we don't talk about this a lot, but obviously, we do the radio show, obviously, to give some information, hopefully make it fun, but we sell houses for a living. And so if you have any need, or your grandkids have any need, or anybody has any need, mnrealestateshow.com is how you can get a hold of us. Or if you fall into categories where maybe you want to know, am I somebody that should be involved in this market now or in the next year or in the next 2 years? Like, for example, if you're moving to Florida in 2 years, you might want to reach out to us. If you're a buyer that's thinking about buying in the next year, you definitely should reach out to your agent or to us, because it is a very good time if you're doing that.
Yeah, I did just have a comment saying we really appreciate how kind and empathetic Scott is. Hey, one last listing. Ryan Beardsley's got one in Aiken, 39212 Highway 18 in Aiken, 359.9. This is a ranch style home, no stairs, 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, 1,665 finished square feet. There's a big pole barn. Scott, 48 by 30 pole barn. It's on 3/4 of an acre. There's a boat slip. It's right across from Mille Lacs. He's doing an open house coming up September 6th, 10 to 1 p.m., 10 a.m. That's 39212 Highway 18 in Aiken. It's lake time.
My first sale as a real estate agent was a executive. It was a walk-in to Dinah Real at 7 in the morning, and they said, Scott, we want to buy a ranch home. We're from Mississippi. We want to buy a ranch home. So for 3 days, 30 homes, I showed them ramblers. And they were engineers. They were very quiet. And then finally, after 3 days, I'm like, look, I'm just going to show them a 2-story. And I showed them a 2-story that was a salt box. And they said, Scott, that's the first ranch style home that you've showed us.
What?
Yes, because where they were from, ranch style was a salt box look, with the white picket fence. And of course here, ranch style is a rambler. And back then, and again, they were just very, they didn't speak a lot. They were just very kind of withdrawn people. Yeah, that's the first ranch style home you showed us.
Oh, Adam. Hey, Adam Hartung, Midwest Money Management. Last thoughts for us today.
But you always put me on the spot with the last.
Yeah, there you go. AI. I liked what you were talking about with AI. That is interesting. I think the AI world is going to be an interesting one.
I do. I think it's certainly going to be interesting. And it is both exciting and terrifying at the same time. And, we talked about this off air, but I do believe that AI has the potential to boost productivity in a way that can actually help solve the national debt, believe it or not, which has been my biggest concern for years and years and years.
I have so many concerns on AI. I won't talk about it on the air.
Yeah, a lot of
Yeah.
concerns, a lot of stuff from an AI standpoint. It's an interesting world that we live in right now. Now, throughout the week, again, you can reach out to us. We will be at the State Fair next weekend at the booth. That will be fun, Scott.
Yep, get there early because the 10 seats fill up super quick. Yeah, so make sure we get there. We get there about 9:30. So you want to get there maybe 6:30. Get a good upfront seat.
Yeah, most of those are just O'Neill family members,
That's right.
right? We've had some good support over the years, but it's been a fun show. Scott, great job today. Last thoughts?
Just again, don't listen to gloom and doom in the market. It is a very good market. Units are up, sales are up. Pricing, as always, is very important. And so reach out to us. We'd love to help. mnrealestateshow.com.
Yeah, thank you, Candace, for being here, friend.
Woohoo! Can't wait to be at the fair with you guys.
Hey, tell me your band name again.
Shadow.
Shadow Hex.
Yes.
Yeah, check it out. She does a great job. Hey, it's been a fun show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Enjoy this weekend. Shadow Hex. Adam, she is
Shadow, you have
she
a
is the
band?
front
Are you-
gal
are you
of a
really?
band.
So sweet.
You're the
Yeah.
singer?
Yes, she is the
Wow.
front. Adam Hartung. Before
What
we
kind of band?
leave,
Oh,
before we leave, everybody, Adam, you tell when I first met you. This is good for folks. How did you look, and what were you doing? What were you playing?
I was I was a guitar major in college.
Guitar.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
What does that even
And
mean, a guitar major?
Well,
Performance.
So it was my, so yeah. Technically, I say that because people understand a little more, but I was a music management major, but my primary instrument was guitar. So
Got it.
Okay, but what did you look like?
you're referring to my long hair.
How long was your hair?
Very long.
How long? Show people.
I don't know. This
No,
long?
it was longer than that,
Well,
dude.
no,
His hair pulled down. It was like past his waist.
he's wrong, but it was not past my waist.
But I remember meeting Adam, and we were sitting in a car, and you were listening to
Megadeth. We were listening to
Megadeth.
you know. Yeah, I do remember that. That was. I think that was probably when you and I really became friends. Was in that conversation in the car.
Yeah.
Megadeth and Chopin over there.
No, we were listening to a little Megadeth.
Ryan liked Megadeth as well.
Yeah, and everybody knows I took Scott one year in our kind of hard rock vein. I did take Scott one year to the fair to a Motley Crue
I
concert,
mean, it was just,
and it was fun.
oh my God.
It was great. We were actually it was a group of bands. It was like 80s rock. It was Motley Crue,
Poison.
Cinderella.
Whatever.
Oh, Cinderella.
Yeah. So it
Yeah,
was fun.
It was
Tom
not.
Kiefer's one of my
It was
favorite.
not my
Fun
scene,
guys.
but we went with Ryan Bonahum.
Or Rob.
I'm sorry, Rob Bonahum. who was
Yeah.
a great guy.
Rob, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Our friend. Hey, we're going to sign off, everybody. Thanks for all the kind comments from everybody. Glad some folks saying, hey, I learned something new every week, especially when Scott speaks. Very nice. Hey, thank you, everybody. We'll be back next weekend. Take
See you guys.
care. See you at the fair. See you at the fair, everybody. Bye.